Hello. If you clicked on this video, that means you are ready to take this journey with me, to take this path in explaining what Satellarknight cards are. A lot of you know me as Satellarknight, but a lot of you don't know what started this journey, and that's obviously the first set that introduced me back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Was Duelist Alliance that came out in 2015. See, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a really long time, but I never played competitively. So when I first went to Cardboard Legends and my friend Kyle sold me on this box of Duelist Alliance, I was a little hesitant to say because I didn't want to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I used to run a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, and then I kind of gave up on it for a while. And when I went back, there was a lot of options in that box. There was the Burning Abyss and the Shadows. Those were like the main two that everybody loved running. But for me, something resonated with me. Something connected me with this archetype called Satellarknights that are based off of, like the constellations, which is obviously ironic to their counterparts, the Constellars, which we'll get into later. But the reason I want to talk about this, and if you guys have seen any of my latest video on opening one of these booster boxes, is I was able to pull a card that really connected with me, and that was Satellarknight Deneb. And that's the title of this video, and that's the introduction to this series. We're going to talk about Deneb first, because that's the first card that I pulled from the set. At the time, the card was $30, I think, when I pulled, so I needed to acquire 3 copies, which it was expensive, but I got my hands on it. So Satellarknight, if you guys are not familiar, it's an archetype that kind of focuses on spamming out rank 4 monsters. And back in the day, dating myself now, back in 2015, that was the best way to do it, was using Satellarknight cards. And even though the deck itself was not as fast and as popular, it had so many interruptions, and Satellarknight Deneb was in the middle of it. So yeah, so the card Satellarknight Deneb, if you guys are not familiar, reads: if this card is summoned in any way, you get to add a Tellarknight monster from your deck to your hand. The effect is once per turn. That makes it fair, but the fact that when it's summoned in any way, at the time it made it really broken, and it made a really interesting card. You did need to run 3 copies, but in today's meta you are only required 1, which is weird to say because this card has been a staple in the deck for so long. At 3, it was like the centerpiece, but now with the new support coming out, you only need 1 because there are other searchers. Even though this card remains the prime searcher for monster cards, there's other ways you can kind of fish it out now. And even though that this was the card that you wanted to see going turn 1 back in 2015, you would set Satellarknight Deneb and then chill on 4 or 5 back row cards until your follow-up turn. In today's meta, you almost never want to start summoning this card out unless you're going for a turn skip, which was also impossible back in the day. So the basic combo is, if you want to combo off, as you call it, you would summon Satellarknight Vega, and then you summon out Deneb, and then you go into your rank 4 into Exotime Knight if you're going second, or Baguska wasn't even out, or that Bujinki, whatever. You go that in defense, you detach a material, you draw a card, and you set 4 and pass, because you'll have Altair thanks to the Deneb summon on the following turn. It has multiple prints, to my knowledge. It has obviously the EP1 print, which was the reprint, and then the original print, Duelist Alliance. I don't think it has like a secret rare print. It has only an ultra rare print, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I kind of wish it had a secret rare print, but I think those are reserved for the XC version of those cards. So yeah, so that was a quick review of Satellarknight Deneb. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are enjoying this type of content. If you have an input that you would like me to touch up on in my next video, I would also appreciate. We're all big community. We're all part of the same universe, no pun intended. And I really enjoy each and every single one of you that tunes into this channel to show support for a forgotten archetype that's kind of making strides in today's meta, and will continue to do so if you are committed hard enough in doing so. Let that sink in. Till then, Satellarknight is out.